Hi, everybody. This is Shannon Price, the Mind Mechanic, helping you navigate your life every day. Welcome, and thanks for tuning into today's podcast. These podcasts are free and are brought to you to help you navigate your life mentally, emotionally, and physically to bring overall wellness that you might have been missing or didn't even realize you were missing. So thank you to everyone who has been listening and leaving us ratings and reviews. So if you can, please go to YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Music Podcasts, wherever you like to listen to podcasts. And you just have to type in Shannon Price, the Mind Mechanic, and leave us a 5-star rating and a short written review. I'm really trying hard to get to 500 ratings and would really appreciate it if you would help out. Then each month I'll choose a name at random and send you out some Mind Mechanic swag. So once again, if you find these podcasts helpful and interesting, I would love to hear from you. My goal in life is to change the way people see and treat themselves, to educate, empower, and evolve. And many people have lived their lives pretty much the same way for a very long time, stuck. Well, now it's time to improve because you are capable of making the biggest transformation of your life. You are capable of becoming unstuck. Today, I'm joined by my good friends and colleagues, wellness experts Maureen Connolly, Molly Camacho, and Angie Teat. I firmly believe that each person needs a personalized health and wellness team, a team of experts to trust and count on to stay as healthy as possible throughout their lives. I don't just mean your general physician, but that's where we start. I'm talking about a team of experts and specialists. I haven't always realized the importance of this, living almost 20 years playing music full-time on the road, living in hotels. I actually didn't even have a regular physician. The only professional healthcare person I had was my eye doctor, who I would see if we were in that town, a town where I really didn't ever live, but that's an entirely different story. Since that time, I have been certified, licensed, and have higher education as a fitness professional, personal trainer, and have even more continuing higher education in mental health realms of hypnotherapy. I practice a non-trance-based method, and I have a large knowledge base of how to interpret the messages and patterns in our dreams, which also helps with emotional, physical, and mental health. And the method that I use is almost 100% effective for every person that I see. In my later life experience, I've discovered and truly feel that everyone not only needs that family physician, that's where you start, but also an individual wellness person in other specific specialties who do not put you on a one-size-fits-all plan. Remember, you are not like anyone else, and you can't have great physical health without great mental health, and vice versa. So when something comes up and you need help, it is imperative to have all of these professionals at your fingertips. So I've gathered 3 of my most incredible friends and experts. These are brilliant women in their fields, and we're going to bring you this big podcast to help you no matter where you are in life at this time or any other time in the future. So you can involve yourself, and hopefully you'll realize that all of these things are imperative to your complete life and health. So I want to introduce everybody. With me today, we have Molly Camacho, who is not only my physical therapist, but she's a physical therapist for the last 20 years at Performance Therapies in Coralville, Iowa. Her experience in the area of orthopedics and sports medicine is unparalleled. She's also an athletic trainer and certified strength and conditioning specialist. Molly's mission is to educate, empower, and rehabilitate individuals of all ages to optimize their physical function, to reduce pain so they can live an active and healthy life. Molly's helped me do this more than once over the last 15 years. So thank you, Molly. Woo!
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you. Next, we have Maureen Connolly, who is my former physician because she's now retired, but I count on her every day. She specializes in internal medicine, which is the health care of anyone from age 18 to age 100 and beyond. She loves this field because it has allowed her to form relationships with people as they encounter health problems and provide preventative care no matter what time in their life it is. She encourages and partners with adults of all ages using non-judgmental approach to achieve and maintain their very best health for a sustainable and fulfilling life. Thanks, Maureen, for being here, and thank you for being my physician.
Thanks for having me, Shannon.
Yes, thank you. And next we have Angie Teat, who is such a wonderful person and influence in the realm of holistic health. She has over 25 years in the health and fitness industry as a certified personal trainer and group fitness instructor. She also is trained in water aerobics, Les Mills programs, and she's very athletic, as you can't tell by what I'm already saying. Angie has actually dedicated her life of service to help her clients reach their physical potential. And over the last 2 years, she felt a calling to help serve her clients on a different level of awareness. She's building on physical training and integrating holistic services. She's educated herself through many certifications with many mentors and teachers learning holistic modalities and ancestral healing techniques such as Reiki, Shiva Murti, crystals, and light language. She works with clients on a multi-dimensional level energetic field to untangle and bring back natural, physical, mental, emotional, and energetic bodies. Angie is committed to her clients and promotes self-empowerment, self-healing, and a deeper connection with the inner spirit or voice to learn to discern between our inner core and ego. Angie also works at the University of Iowa Healthcare Clinics as an administrator. And I've been to Angie for several modalities of holistic healing, and I always feel incredible when I leave. Angie, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for that wonderful intro.
Thank you. You are all just brilliant, and I love you. You have the biggest hearts and the most caring I've ever seen of people in your area for patients and clients. Now, I'm going to ask you guys some questions, and you can sort of do a little round table discussion because I think these are things that people actually really need to hear. They need to know these things. So my first question, and Maureen, I might be directing this at you. The first question is, if a person goes to a family physician for a physical injury or pain, what steps would you take before referring them on to physical therapy or another method? And what factors would you take into consideration?
Okay, well, that's a big question. If they're coming in with specific pain in a joint or a muscle area, that's one thing versus, systemic pain. So let's say if there was an injury, that would lead me one way if we're severe enough to need an x-ray. But in general, if it's pain, take into account their age, their level of physical activity, underlying medical conditions. Say someone comes in with pain in the knee. The first thing you want to make sure immediately is that it's not reflecting a medical condition like gout, rheumatoid arthritis,
right.
Blood in the joint from an injury, all sorts of, systemic illnesses. But once it's clear it's not that, and it's nothing acute, then I do my own evaluation of the joint to see if I can tell if it's a ligament or actually a bony injury or arthritis. And I'm pretty quick to refer to physical therapy because I like to do that first. many of us are somewhat unconditioned, maybe not in the best shape. We're busy, our lives are busy. And sometimes what it needs is somebody to really work on their muscle strength and conditioning to have the joint or the painful area, just respond better. So I'm pretty quick to send someone to physical therapy if it's not an acute injury and it doesn't look like it's related to an underlying medical problem.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. Molly, if Maureen referred a client to you for that, let's call it the knee pain, and everything you're doing and everything you've tried doesn't seem to be helping that person, where do you think they would go from there?
Well, Shannon, typically what we would call that referring physician right back to let them know. Usually they want to be involved in making that decision. Oftentimes they're going to send them on to an orthopedic specialist, an orthopedic surgeon, orthopedic doctor. That's the most common, most common referral if physical therapy hasn't done its job.
Right. And what I think that you may want to take into consideration, and I know that neither one of you touched on this, but I know we've talked about it before, is what will that person's insurance pay for? Because that's a big deal, and it's not the most inexpensive thing to go from person to person to finally find an answer to. And so I know that as I've been referred to from Maureen to Molly, et cetera, that yes, I have a copay, but my insurance will cover that. And also now that I've been to, of course, orthopedic surgeons and stuff, yes, that happens. And I don't know what you guys think about this, but a lot of times once there are x-rays taken and there's nothing really there, and I, as a mental health practitioner, I might sort of dig into their background to find out what's going on at home. Is it something that has caused this pain for you, and it's a real pain, but where's it coming from? And then I might we may go through our 1 month-long sessions, and I might send them on to Angie just to get some clearing of the energies and stuff. Angie, what would you do for something like that?
Oh, I like to always reiterate, I am not a doctor.
Right.
I've never claimed to be a doctor. Training that I've gone through, but I generally have a questionnaire that I have my clients fill out, and it really covers, their basic physical ailments that they may have forgotten about. I cover any trauma that they may have had and how that affects the body, because what we think about, we bring about, and we're not always aware of our thoughts. And especially when we're young and we have trauma, we don't necessarily relate that to anything that's happening in our bodies right now, or how we talk about ourselves, or how we take care of ourselves. So I have my clients fill that out, but I don't read it, because it's more for the client to become aware of their own issues that they need to work on, and it helps their bodies remember how to ultimately recover itself.
Oh, I love that.
So I'm just a facilitator. I am not, the person is ultimately healing themselves.
That's wonderful.
That's a really great point, because so often I think that physicians weren't aware until the past few decades that there are so many pains that are real, but that are springing from past experiences. One of the first, I think, we learned in internal medicine way back was young women with abdominal pain that we could not figure out. Now, this isn't across the board, but we had to be aware. Is there sexual trauma in the past? I mean, your body is often trying to tell you things. It's storing up trauma, and it will come out somewhere.
Yeah.
And once we've ruled out usual medical things, yes, that person needs to be helped to look at what else in their past might be causing this. And that's really good. And I agree with Angie. just having them fill out a questionnaire and starting the thought process that, oh, this could be part of me. This could be a sign of something else, not just, I have a pain, let's get rid of it. So I think that's crucial. Yeah.
Yes, it's always that. It's always the power of suggestion a lot of times. And I love that, Angie, I love that you have them fill out the form and you don't look at it because it's a way for them to get it out and remember. I love that. So we actually, the next question I'm going to ask, because we have kind of gone through my second question. So the third question is, do you encourage your clients or patients to consider how their medical problems can be a reflection of their lack of self-care? How do we cope with stress? We need to help them cope with stress, especially now, of course, over the last 2 years, what the heck, and we want them to cope with stress and not reach for food and drink and not to procrastinate because they just feel mentally and physically exhausted, even when they're really not, but that's how they feel. Where would you start that, Maureen? Where do you think?
Well, for the most common medical problems, say high blood pressure, adult onset diabetes, high cholesterol, etc., certainly you don't like to just jump to taking a medication, but talk to the person about what their life is like. I mean, stress affects all those things. Stress affects our diet. And self-care is something that I think maybe we're not necessarily taught to do because we have so many responsibilities for other people and our jobs and families and whatever, that we assume, okay, now I have a condition and I just need to take a medication for it, which in the long run may be true. But I rarely, for instance, on a first visit, will start somebody on medication for high blood pressure. That's just a step.
Right.
Talk to them, take their history, learn about their families, and also we'll take the blood pressure numerous times over the visit so that as they settle down, often it'll come down significantly. If you walk in and you're worked up, it'll be high. And there is a lot. A main reason I wouldn't go to medication is that I think it's incumbent upon me to talk to them about what their diet is like. Talk to them about sodium, talk to them about physical activity, and what it's really lovely if someone is willing to do something like a food diary. I'll tell you, it's a difficult thing to do. I've tried it. I mean, it's in all the books, but it is very hard to write down every day everything that you eat. But even just trying for maybe 2 days a week for a month, so we can just, find little things, because I certainly don't think you're going to solve any medical problem with a diet.
Right.
It's a deprivation diet, but just looking at what's reasonable for someone, what they like and don't like, and what changes they can make. And then I establish a relationship, see them back in 2 weeks, check the blood pressure again, talk about other things. And, with time, they may need medication, but I certainly prefer dietary changes and more physical activity as is reasonable for them.
Yes.
And it's not, which Angie and Molly can speak to, just saying, oh, yes, you need to eat better and exercise more. That doesn't help anyone.
Right, exactly.
Feel bad. So just making small suggestions that can be accomplished, maybe eliminate this type of food, or maybe look at the food ingredients as far as the sodium in it. Do you drink a lot of sweetened soda? Just small things they can do one at a time, rather than, or maybe take a walk twice a week. Start slowly, and also, eventually we would get to mental health issues and things that may block their ability to do things that would help them to deal with the medical problem.
Right. Step at a time, so it's simple and sustainable. Exactly.
Nothing is sustainable if it's if it's painful or difficult.
Right.
How could it be? Our lives are so difficult already.
Yes, exactly.
Small changes that make that a person would feel, yes, I could probably do that.
Yeah.
And and work with them.
Molly, what steps do you take when someone comes to you and says, "Oh my gosh, my neck is just killing me, and I have so much stress," and what kind of step-by-step process maybe that you would use to help them with that?
Mm-hmm. So first, we're going to be asking about what makes their pain better, what makes their pain worse, and like Maureen said, what's your average day like? What kinds of activities do you do? Do you sit at a desk and work? A lot of my patients have office jobs, and most of them this past year have been working from home instead of in the office. So if their pain came on right after they started working from home, maybe their office at home isn't set up very well. Or maybe they don't have an office at home. Maybe they're sitting on their recliner or their sofa with their laptop in their lap. So usually with asking the right questions about their day-to-day life, we can get to the bottom of what factors are causing that neck pain and that stress, and then give them suggestions to improve that. And at the same time, we're doing all the other measurements of range of motion and strength and flexibility and correcting any imbalances we find there, but it goes hand in hand with what are you doing all day long, and what positions are you in? Are you looking down at your phone a lot? Do you have some not so good postures and positions, and working with people to correct it?
Yeah, exactly. I love that. It's so common for everybody to come in and see Maureen or come in and see any of us for a quick fix. Quick fixes don't work. That's why there are so many out there on the internet that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars, because maybe they'll work for a week or two and then they're done, and what's that person going to do when they haven't been given the tools to help them progress? And that's what we're here. Angie, if you had someone come in and with the same issue, like, oh God, my neck and my shoulder, where would you start after you have them fill out their intake form? How do you decide which is the best modality for that particular person? Or modalities? Maybe there's more than one.
Usually it's multiple.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. Thank you.
So I have little points on the body. There are points on the body that I can check to see if they're blocked or not. And then if they're blocked, I clear them, and then I check it again. I'm like, oh, does that hurt? No, it doesn't hurt. Yes. Like, okay, we're moving on. So I clear the body of any dis-ease that it has, and then we can talk, okay. And generally the person knows I carry my tension in the middle of my back, like right where my bra strap is, they feel that. And so just, letting them be aware of their posture and how, that's just natural for us.
Yes.
But it doesn't come natural to people. And so they really have to be aware of it and work on it. And so, in the long run, is that really going to help anyone? Or, are they really going to take that on? And, you hope for the best, but also bringing it to their attention. And then I take from there, and then I bring them into a deep relaxation with Reiki, and I use crystal.
Yeah, the Reiki is my favorite. I love the Reiki.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's so nice, and it just kind of gently washes away all of the disease. But really, what it comes down to for me, I feel like people have a hard time distinguishing between the difference of self-care and being selfish.
Yes. Oh, you're so right.
To make it, it's selfless.
Yes.
Because how can you be there for others in your life? Like, I have 2 kids and a husband that depend on me. I got 2 big dogs, and
that's
run
true.
A clinic, or I don't run a clinic, but I work in a clinic, and I have multiple people who depend on me. So if I don't take care of myself and I'm not running at my optimum, then I can't be there for them. So really, self-care and self-knowing is very important.
Yes, you're so right.
And really, people don't know until they're just like, I'm burnt out. Like,
Yes, exactly.
I'm done. Like, what can I do? And I'm like, you need to take a step back, take some time for yourself, you know, get the massage, do all the things. If you need acupuncture, if you need to go run, start eating an apple a day.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
little baby steps.
Yes.
If you have a hard time, you know, working out or walking or finding a partner, you know, go to a group fitness class. You're going to find all your friends, and then you're going to meet them, and they'll be like, hey, where were you at?
Yes.
You know? It's just building a community that supports what you want to do and your outcomes, you know?
Yes.
And so that's what it's all about.
That's fantastic, Angie. I know that what I work with is the subconscious. And the reason that people see changes fairly quickly is because the subconscious has been doing some of the same things since you were a child, since you were born. And sometimes the subconscious doesn't realize, oh, you're an adult, you can make your own decisions, you're going to go that way instead of this way, right? And it's so true. Self-care and procrastination and emotional eating are the things that I see people almost all the time. It helps make those changes and make them stick. And between all of these different ways of taking care of yourself, if you see one of us and then you see the next person and the next person and the next person, you're going to learn what self-care is, because that's what we do. We practice self-care so we can give it to you. And I just love everything that you guys have said. But here's, speaking of quick fix.
Well, I was just going to add, I think that people need to hear what Angie was saying, is that self-care never means that you're selfish.
Exactly.
We actually need to reparent ourselves. We need to, not that everyone has had trauma or a bad childhood by any means.
Oh, right.
But in many ways, you know, just how would you treat someone you love, and why wouldn't you treat yourself the same way, is something that we don't always get.
And that's a beautiful message. Getting that through to some people is like breaking down a brick wall, though. You know, please go take a bubble bath or something. You know, you've got to start taking care of yourself. You've got to invest in yourself. You've got to invest in your health. And you've got to remember to look in that mirror and say, I am going to take care of me. And then you'll be able to take care of everyone in your family. You'll be able to take care of your job, because you got to put yourself first. Do you guys agree with that?
You are worth it. People have to know they are worthwhile, worthy of respect and love, no matter what, just as much as the people that they love. And if they can start with that, their whole lives will turn around.
Oh, I agree completely. I love everything you guys just said. It's so true. And there are a lot of people that don't have a problem with taking care of themselves and self-care. But like Angie said, a lot of those people are around other people that do that for themselves. So it's sort of like finding your tribe, finding your group. And all of a sudden you realize, oh, I need to start taking better care of myself, and because I am worth it. You know, just like Maureen said, I'm worth it, because every single person on this planet is worth it. It's just something sometimes you need help realizing that. You need help knowing how to realize that. And that's one reason we're here. We're here for everyone. We're here to help you do that.
My favorite quotes is, if you don't take time for your wellness, you'll be forced to take time for your illness.
I love it, because that is so true. Amen. That is so, so true. Oh my goodness.
Symptoms do not occur in a vacuum. Rarely do they. And that's why there's rarely one simple answer. Sometimes there is, but rarely.
Very rarely. Very, very much. I love that every single one of us, and you guys are amazing, will encourage each person that they are a light in this world, and that each person really needs to look at themselves and say, yeah, I helped somebody today, or something I said, someone remembered. So that focus on yourself and self-care is the best way in the world, not only to help yourself relax, number one, help yourself be more confident, have more self-esteem, and realize your importance on this planet.
So when you're modeling that for your children, should you have children or people around you, people will see your example if you're in a position of respect. And if you're not taking care of yourself, that's what you're showing is okay to do.
Yes. Oh, it's so true. It's so true. And I've always felt that investing in yourself, knowing that maybe you do need a change in lifestyle, maybe you do need to implement how to take care of you because you're so important. But it takes time, and it takes an effort on your part, and it takes, most of the time, it takes an ability to learn something new, maybe, and the effort to just do it. And it may take some investing, some monetary investment in yourself, but it doesn't have to be a big investment. It just has to be something that's going to help you become somebody that has less stress, somebody that's able to make changes for themselves, because now you know how and you know where to go to get help. So where do we go from there, you guys?
For one thing, that's why we do preventive care. And I think that we all do that. Mm-hmm. Ideally, you can prevent things if you live a more healthy way or learn how to prevent. It's much more satisfying to see someone actually avoid something they might be genetically predisposed to, like diabetes, if they already are more aware of how to eat and just how to have a healthier life, right, than to wait until it occurs.
Yes.
That's one way.
That is so true. Following up and staying on top of things, reconnecting with whoever you're seeing for these helps, these medical, physical, emotional helping, just to keep going, and to make sure that you're on track. Do you guys, Molly or Angie, you have anything to add? I would love to hear.
Yeah, Shannon, I was going to add to that. In the physical therapy world, we're educating people all the time, especially people who haven't been physically active their whole life. They might not know where to start. They don't know what to do. They don't know how many times to do it, how many days a week. And so that's what we're educating people to do, giving them suggestions for exercises or giving them a list of exercises related to their problem, strengthening, stretching. This is how many times a day to do it. This is how many repetitions. This is how many times per week. So that's what we're doing all day long, is educating people in safe ways to exercise and what's best for them personally, given their age and their previous experiences and their injuries. Yeah. So that's what we're experts in, and in this area, I see a lot of people who are already very active, and they may already know what to do, so they just need a little tweak, like maybe they're running 5 days a week, but they're not stretching or warming up or cooling down. Yeah. And I've seen people where that's the recommendation. Okay, you're running, you love running, you don't want to quit running, but how about let's spend the first 5 minutes warming up, and here's some things to do. And then when you're done, you want to take 5-10 minutes to cool down. And it's amazing what that can do for the body to reduce injury risk, get rid of injuries that are already there. Yep. And, it's just really rewarding and fun for me to help people find those little keys that they're looking for.
Yes, you've helped me so much, so many times over the years. And
you're a great example of somebody who has done every exercise and knows exactly how to do every exercise. And so, you give me a good challenge because, there's not much new that I can teach you and show you, but we always find something
We do.
Yeah.
Yes. And
or a new little piece of equipment, or let's try facing this way instead of that way. And that's a lot of fun.
And all of those little things have always made a difference to me in how I'm able to move and function and making pain go away.
Shannon, you're a great role model for everybody that you work with.
Oh my God, thank you.
You're always talking about what you do. You're always optimistic and positive with everyone. You share when you're having a problem, and that you really are aggressive in listening to what is suggested to do. So you really are a great role model.
Oh, thank you.
To see it in action.
I appreciate that. And it's all about getting information from experts and forming habits. If you don't form the habits, say if you don't do what Maureen says, if you don't and suggests, and if you don't do what Molly shows you to do, if you don't make it a habit, then your problem's not going to go away. And Angie, will you add to that about in your wonderful, beautiful, I love your holistic practice. Just let's add Angie in there.
Absolutely.
Yes. So it's really about being mindful and being present within the moment, because we're always constantly, thinking about what we need to do or regrets on what we wish we had done, instead of actively thinking or being present about what we are doing right now, to be able to make our future plans actually go into the way action where we would like it to go to. So having people be mindful of how they eat, like reminding them of, you need to chew your food.
Don't just swallow it.
How does it feel when you sit down? If your shoulders up, down, and back, feel nice, proud chest, breathe in and out, and reminding people how to breathe.
Yes.
We do shallow breathing all the time, but actually doing a deep breath.
Yes, a counted breath.
No.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. And
Counting.
just bringing it all the way back down to basics, from how to breathe, how to sit, how to walk properly,
Yes.
Toe.
You said something that I just loved, Angie. You said bringing people into the present, because everybody's thinking, what am I going to do when I leave here? What am I going to do tomorrow? What, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, I shouldn't have done that 5 years ago or yesterday, and it's so imperative that we get people to focus right on the present, because there's nothing that will change in the future if you don't focus on the present. And the past is done and gone. It's bye-bye, So we got to focus on now, so we can figure out what's going to happen in the next day, in the next 5 years,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
You guys, I love you all very much. You guys have been so fantastic. I want to thank you all so much for presenting on this podcast today, because it helps others decide their path. It helps others know that there's all different kinds of help out there for them. And what I'd like to do is I would like to go through all of you guys' contact information one by one, and I will also list the contact information for everyone at the end of this podcast on YouTube and all the other listening sites. I will leave that in their comments there. So, Maureen, if someone needs to speak to you and ask your opinion or get some suggestions, could you tell them, would you prefer to someone call you or email? What would you prefer?
I think I'd start with email.
Okay.
That way, knowing that people will probably already have their own physician, and I'm not in any way stepping in on that.
Right, exactly.
But I would do email first, and then if there were a relationship established, we could go from there.
And what's your email that you'd want to give out?
It's Maureen Connolly, MaureenConnolly 555 @gmail.
Oh, that's a good one too. That's easy to remember. Thank you, Maureen. So hope everybody got that. Molly, what do you prefer, that they reach you at the clinic, or do you prefer that they email you? What would you prefer?
Yeah, I work at Performance Therapies in Coralville, and they can call me at that office number, which is 665-2630, or just email me directly. And my email is mcamacho, and that's CAMACHO at perfthere.com. So PERFTHER.
Like performance therapy is shortened. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Good. And that area code on her number is 319. Angie, how would you prefer people get in touch with you?
So I have two ways. You can get a hold of me on my email, which is Angie at lashirawellness.com, and that's ANGIE at LASHIRAWELLNESS.com, or my website, and that's lashirawellness.com, LASHIRAWELLNESS.com.
Thank you, Angie. And for those of you that are going to contact me, and I know I'm so glad that you guys do, you can find me at Control Fitness. That's all one word, Control and Fitness together at AOL.com. That's my email. That's my business email. You can also find me at my website, which is www.sp, which are my two initials, Shannon Price, spthemindmechanic.com. And to find all of my podcasts, which there are plenty of them now, just look on your favorite listening site, on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere that you like to listen to podcasts, and just type in the search Shannon Price, The Mind Mechanic. And you can also find them at my website, which is, again, www.spthemindmechanic.com/podcasts. And on that website, you can also download my free ebooks and a free gratitude journal that will help you navigate your life for the rest of your life. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to applaud you all because I love you very much and you're so beautiful. Thank you for showing up and really helping people so much tonight. Thank you, guys. I'll see you later. Kisses and hugs. Bye.